I mentioned in a prior video that I expected the Supreme Court would reverse the Colorado Supreme Court decision that disqualified Trump from the Republican primary ballot for engaging in an insurrection within the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. I previously stated that I believe that the Supreme Court decision would be unanimous, and it was. No decision was made by the Supreme Court on the merits of the case, that is, whether or not Trump engaged in an insurrection. The ruling was simply that a state lacked the constitutional power to make that decision for a federal election. And the court pointed out that Section 5 of the 14th Amendment contemplated that Congress would enact enabling legislation, which has not been done yet, probably because the issue never came up about a presidential candidate trying to cancel certified election results from 1868 when the 14th Amendment was adopted until the 2020 presidential election. For as long as Trump remains a candidate, there is no hope for Congress to pass enabling legislation. Maybe when people cool down in 3 or 4 decades from now, and the MAGA crowd are no longer with us spouting a continuous stream of cult-like comments, Congress will need to address the issue because this may happen again. My thought is that Congress needs to clearly set out what actions constitute an insurrection, and Trump's actions provide some guidelines on that issue. There will need to be a trial that will follow the federal rules of evidence. Rather than picking a jury, the Senate majority and minority leader would each pick an appellate court judge, who would then have to agree on a third judge, and they would sit as judge and jury. A 2/3 vote would be needed to disqualify the candidate from federal office. Then there would be a direct appeal to the Supreme Court. This alternative would be in addition to impeachment of the federal official. The evidence supports, in my opinion, that Trump did engage in an insurrection within the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. But that is just going to be a subject now that will be addressed in the D.C. criminal court case that will probably be tried, in my opinion, after the election because of the delay that's now going to occur on the issue of whether Trump has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for acts committed when he was president. The only really effective way to deal with Trump and his political minions is to soundly defeat Trump and his supporters in the next election. And at the moment, that does not look to me like it will be a more probable than not scenario. That could change with events occurring before the election, of course. Trump will not accept defeat even if he loses swing states by significant percentages, which I would define as more than 5%. But his unwillingness to participate in the peaceful transfer of power after losing the 2020 election and possibly the upcoming one as well will be just one of his legacies for historians to discuss in the coming decades. The nation is not in a good place, in my opinion, when a rational discussion can take place whether Trump or Biden will be the first to have dementia between November 2024 and the expiration of the next presidential term. Both are showing signs of what I call senior moments. I'm younger than them and have those moments myself. I recently published a video where I referred to the 2016 election as the 2000 election and did not realize that I had done that and had that mental lapse until after I viewed the video. I do not edit the videos that I publish, so that mistake is still there. Trump has shown recently an increased inability to pronounce simple words or to form coherent sentences. Consequently, he frequently reverts to his one-liners that he has memorized, repeating over and over again his greatest hits of false and misleading statements. There are several videos on YouTube highlighting these senior moments, such as ones that are called Dementia Dawn, or just search Trump dementia and a bunch of them show up with videos of him talking. The stress of running for president and Trump's legal problems may increase the signs that are consistent with dementia's early onset. It is just my personal opinion now that neither Biden nor Trump have dementia.